touch my eyes, and I am blinded. You touch my eyes.
Joe, are you ready?
And
This is Tom.
see again.
And this is No Huntsville, another music episode that we're really excited about. First of all, let's take care of some business. We want to thank Pinhook Provisions for providing the studio space for us today. Also to Salty Nut Brewery for giving us the fine beer that we'll be drinking all day. But let's get right to it. We have Drew Richter in the studio today to talk to us about his music and also play some songs. So Drew, thanks for coming by and hanging out with us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so let's go into some of your type of music that you play here in town. So go ahead, tell us about you.
Tell us about my type of music that I play here in town.
There you go.
I'm just a songwriter. It's taken my experiences and my life's BS, and I throw it all into a song, and I tell nobody what it's about. So, I just played a song for you a minute ago.
Right.
Nobody knows what it's about. And I like to keep it that way.
But first, you're Huntsville native, but then you took off for a little while.
Yeah.
Got some life experiences.
Yeah.
Came back.
Well, I was in a band here in the mid-'80s, and we split up. In the late 80s, I moved to Florida and wound up living in Miami for almost 10 years.
Okay.
And then I...
Playing music in Miami.
Well, yeah.
Real fast.
What? Real fast?
Real
Miami.
So tell me about the music scene. What's the music scene in Miami?
Well, at the time, it was good. When
Yeah.
I first moved to Miami in 1990, there was a great music scene. There was a lot of bands.
Wait, did you move there for the music scene or just for something else?
I moved there I was traveling to South America, and I was going to South America. I made 3 trips down to Ecuador, where I met my wife.
Okay.
But during the process, I had friends who lived in Miami, and I stayed with them in South Beach. And I first went to South Beach in 1990 and fell in love with the place. And at the time, it was nothing like what it is today.
Right.
In 1990, there was, probably 20% of the buildings, all the apartment buildings on South Beach were all boarded up, abandoned, big 20-foot chain link fence around them. But the bars were great, the music was great, the Mavericks were just coming out, they were still a bar band at the time. There was a lot of great bands, and I had a friend that introduced me to a group of musicians, and I moved into this apartment in South Beach, big apartment with probably anywhere 5 to 7, 8 different musicians, and we played and drank and played and partied, and it was a great time. To me, it was a great time just because it's an incredible location, cheap
Right.
as hell. The buildings were in horrible shape, but we all loved it and didn't notice it. We were all young and full of crap.
Yeah.
And having a great time living in South Beach. But then it's so expensive now, and it's too trendy now. It's gone hip hop, and
And Pitbull. I think Pitbull took
Pitbull.
over that whole scene, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah. So you made it back to Huntsville, right?
well, from there I went to Europe.
Okay.
London, Amsterdam. I lived in London for a while. Amsterdam for almost about 4 years.
Wow.
We go to Spain I travel, spend a lot of time in Spain.
It must be boring.
Yeah.
I know, it sucks. Let me tell you.
And he's like, we got to get back to Huntsville because this is terrible.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I never would have thought I would wind up here again.
And that's
ever.
everybody's mantra
Yeah.
that comes back to Huntsville, by the way.
I know it. If you'd asked me
But-
the day before I decided, I would have laughed. at
Yeah,
you.
but no, I mean, that's funny that Joe and I have this sort of the same background. We moved to California scene and stuff, but still made it back here. And I haven't regretted the decision since because I know the point of this show is to kind of expose that we have a kind of a great culture here. There's a huge music scene, huge art scene, and that's one reason we kind of enjoying the environment here, raising our kids here, so it kind of makes sense. So I know I know your path.
Yeah.
I understand it.
Well, let me tell you, we were saying, is that Alabama is an infamous state, and
Yes.
and you don't know it until you leave. You don't know it until you're in a pub in
Right.
England, or you're somewhere in a bar in South America with somebody, and you hear, and not America, they're talking about Alabama specifically.
Right.
and it's known. The state is known. And
Right. It's the difference between infamy and being famous.
yes,
Infamy is the
And
negative
infamous.
connotation, right? Infamous, exactly.
but and I got a greater appreciation for Alabama
Okay.
when I noticed that certain people, or not certain people, certain situations, people would crowd around me, and they would. Some were pissed off. Some wanted to blame me for, gun laws. Some wanted to blame me for, for all the ills of the world.
Right.
But they love country music. They love Jack Daniels. They love Marlboro. They love all the stuff from the South, But after a while, it's like, you know what? I'm from an infamous state, and I'm freaking proud of it. I like
Okay.
it. Do I want to move to New York, back to Spain? Hell yeah. I'll go in a minute. Do I want to go back to Amsterdam? Yeah, I want to go back, and I'll
Right.
go in a minute. But man, there's nothing like Alabama.
It's a good base, It's a good base
Well,
to
you
come
know
back
what?
to
It's
when
still.
you gotta recoup.
It kind of seems like it's possible to still capture that American dream sort of thing because it's still affordable. This place has.
It is.
Yeah, it's again the culture here has been risen again since the '90s. We were here. We're an eclectic sort of town. We have a lot of transplants here, which is nice. So you get a whole bunch of background from different people. The music art scene is getting bigger, and so there's something to be said about being able to make it by and still have a rich culture to kind of enjoy. So again, that's what kind of the show's all about. But it's also a tribute to the different music we have here. The music scene is really good, and we were talking to a couple other people about how we're between Birmingham, Nashville, and then on their way down to New Orleans. We're sort of the stepping stone for bands to kind of on their path, on their tours to come through. So we're becoming more of that. So we're getting a better scene.
Let me tell you,
It's really neat.
Huntsville here is not the same place I left in the late '80s.
Right. No,
It's
totally
not
agree.
at all the same place.
Exactly. Which is
mean,
nice.
I mean, everybody. And when I was in high school, all we ever did, we talked about leaving. As soon as we
Right.
graduate, we wanted
It's
to.
the same-
No, it's the same
You know?
deal. Yeah, exactly.
Now you got people staying because there's a lot of stuff to do now, and they're helping to
Yeah.
contribute to make it
Yeah,
better.
no, exactly.
I'm
Oh,
always
yeah.
impressed. I'm always impressed at how, because the band I was in the '80s, in 1985, we practiced in one of the law offices on the square downtown Huntsville, in the basement. Okay, and any given night, it was ghost town. Downtown Huntsville was a ghost town.
Right.
There was like one bar by the, what was it, Yesterdays or something like that. There was nothing downtown at night,
Right.
and now it's completely
big,
different
and
world.
kind of in a tribute to Downtown Huntsville Inc. And the mayor too. A big push to revitalize that real estate down there. I mean,
Yeah.
like you were just saying, I was there last night. Amazing. It was a Saturday night, and the square was going off because they have the different places down there. But also Big Spring Park was going off. They had a venue out there where they're having bands and stuff. So the whole area has been revitalized, and I think it's again a tribute to the fact that we have a great eclectic culture here that's promoting more
Yeah.
stuff. So, hey, what's some local music, some other band members, some other musicians that you like pairing up with here in town, or you like to go see, to let everybody know some of the good music that's coming out of Huntsville?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, the Soft Revenge played, one of the baddest damn bands.
Yeah?
I know you got to get them in here. You might need to board up the windows
All right.
first. But no, I played a few songs with them
Yeah.
a few weeks ago at the Voodoo Lounge.
Right.
But there's some great bands here. I love them. I love Seminole Strut.
Seminole Strut, we had them in.
Yeah.
And they're great. They seem like they're getting bigger, and they're an upcoming band for
And
sure.
I can tell Mark. I guess I can tell him now that he made he got credit on my CD that's coming out,
Oh yeah.
and he doesn't know it yet. Well, he doesn't know it yet,
Okay.
but
He will.
anyhow, he'll find out, and he's probably going, "How in the hell did I get a credit on his CD?" Well, you'll find out, dude.
Big reveal later.
The big reveal, yeah.
Big
I'll-
reveal later. Well, so what are some of the venues that you got coming up that you're gonna be playing, and some regular venues that you play around here in town?
Moe's in Providence,
Right.
Sports Page, MVP,
Below the radar.
Below the
You play over
radar.
there, right?
I did a thing last night at Stemmenstein for St. Jude's, and
Nice.
which was nice and cold. but yeah, I try not to book too much because I also work, and
As we do.
as we all do, and I don't
all do.
want to, and sometimes I don't feel like doing it, but I never turn down a gig. I never turn one down. So,
But then
but I
people
play
can,
around.
People can catch your music on Reverb Nation /Andrew Richter, right? So they can get some music there. Are you working on anything currently? Any new albums? Anything you're
Yeah.
putting together right now?
Yeah, I have a full CD coming out next month, October.
Okay.
Nice.
It has been in the works for a long time, and it was recorded in Nashville. I had some very some people involved with it that turned it into something much bigger than me.
Nice.
Really. I have some friends that are in the industry there, who's a songwriter, producer. A friend of mine, Jody Marr, who hooked me up with some people, and wound up getting Mike Poole to mix it.
Okay.
Mike Poole he's worked with Robert Plant, Alison Krauss. He did the last Robert Plant CD, the Band of
Nice.
Joy stuff. So I was really thrilled to hear that he was going to do that, and at least mix it, and so the thing has gone. It's taken forever because I put it off. I waited for certain things to happen, and it's taken me 2 years. It's taken me over 2 years, really. So, but now it's ready. Okay, so we've got 2 weeks. I'm going to have a release party, and right now it's probably going to be at the Lowry House.
Okay.
And I don't know, looking at mid-October, probably.
Just in time for Christmas presents,
Yeah.
right? The new disc coming out, right?
Yeah, that's
the
the
plan?
whole. That was the plan.
It's the marketing
All that
side of
stuff
it?
about delays, I made all that up. I was waiting for the good retail season.
That's all you needed.
So
Very good. All right, Drew, I really appreciate you coming in. It was really nice to talk to you, especially about your music and then also the Huntsville scene. Like, I think we all agree that it's getting bigger and better, and we're feeling more like a community, which is really cool. I really appreciate you coming in and talking to us about it, playing some songs. And again, I want to give it up to Pinhook Provisions for giving us the studio space, Salty Nut for giving us the beer, Dr. Barbecue for hanging out and bringing the barbecue. All right,
Yes.
yeah, all right, we'll do that.
Yes.
And then again, Drew, thank you so much for coming in. Really appreciate it. Everybody should check your stuff out. Get that new album for Christmas presents coming out next month. It's a good idea. And thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it.
thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Did you finish?
You talk a lot, dude.
You talk a lot.
What's the talk? It's a talking show.
That's true.
I got Mike in front of me. All right. Good? You got everything?